What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about a topic that happened maybe 3 weeks or so ago now. I was going to make this video sooner, but got caught up on a trip, so here we are. Today we're going to be talking about EZOO. EZOO, if you don't know, it's a 3-day music festival that takes place in Randall's Island, also known as Electric Zoo. EZOO's been going on for about 14 years, and this year was my 8th year attending the festival. Now, if you guys haven't heard already, EZOO's been kind of getting ripped this year for multiple reasons. This video is going to be mainly about my experience and what happened to me, what I saw, and what happened to my friends who were also there. The first incident that went down, which was the first day of EZOO on September 1st, was that they canceled the first day only 3 hours before the gates were supposed to open. Apparently, they had not finished construction on one of their main stages in time, therefore causing them to cancel the first day. The people were livid. A lot of people coming out of state for this festival. Luckily for me, I only live about an hour away, so nothing too crazy. But the people, they were pissed, and now they had nothing to do for day one. Plus, rumors started going around that maybe the festival wasn't even going to take place now. They were saying that everything wasn't finished, multiple stages weren't finished. It was just madness. Then came the second day. The Electric Zoo social media team posted that day 2 and 3 were on Saturday and Sunday, September 2nd and the 3rd. The only change for these days, well, Saturday at least, was now the gates were opening at 3 p.m. Usually, the gates always open at 1 p.m. They only open at 3 p.m. on Fridays. So, no big deal. At least the people who were there, finally, they had something to go to. So, some were happy. Hooray! But once people started entering, that was when people realized that main stage wasn't even done, and how unorganized a lot of things were. Now, those weren't really the big issues. One of the big issues was will call. People who had purchased their wristband after the shipping cutoff date on the Electric Zoo website, or people who bought hard copy tickets off of promoters, they have to go to the will call booth because the only way you could get into the festival is with a wristband. Now, when I had gotten to the island, it was maybe about 4 p.m. and things looked already a bit hectic. The lines for will call and just to get into the festival were kind of just all mushed together. There wasn't really any barricades kind of directing anything, and it was just horrible. It wasn't that bad. It only took us about 30 to 40 minutes to get in, but if you were waiting on will call, it was definitely going to be about an hour to 2. At apparently 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., that was when the will call lines got really, really bad. People were saying that they were waiting for over 2 to 3 hours just to pick up their wristband. And like I said, no barricades, everyone's just smushed on top of each other. Now, this part I don't know exactly the time, but I believe at about 8 p.m. or so, maybe later, the will call booths just closed. If the people didn't have their wristbands, they just weren't getting in for the night. And the festival ends at 11 p.m., so there's still a bit of the festival to go, but they weren't getting in. So now it's day 1 that didn't happen. And people who come late and couldn't get their wristband, they missed out on day 2. Of course, this caused a lot of commotion online and on social media, and it even broke the local news. For me, day 2, well, which I guess was our day 1, went pretty smooth. I had gone with one of my buddies, Mark, and me and Mark caught some pretty amazing sets. We caught So Tough So Cute, Nightmare, Peekaboo, and Liquid Stranger. And while we were there, nothing seemed to be too crazy. A lot of things unorganized. There were some cords by the main stage that were just in the open, so people could have tripped, but nothing too crazy. I think the only crazy thing was those beatbox prices. $22. Oh, they're lucky. Those beatboxes are amazing. I love you, beatbox. We ended up leaving that night at around 10:30, kind of just to avoid the crowd. You know, it's been so many times that we know everyone tries to leave at 11 and it ends up taking like over an hour to get off that island. So leaving at 10:30 was a pretty good plan. Finally came day 3. The gates opened at the original time of 1 p.m. this time. Again, me and my buddy Mark arrived at around 4 p.m. Things actually seemed to be running pretty smooth. I thought maybe they'd finally got, things under control on the last day, but, it was looking pretty good. That was until I was in the line for the bathroom and I checked Instagram. When I looked on Instagram, the first post I saw was that EZOO was no longer letting anyone into the island. Apparently they hit capacity, and those people who weren't in already, they were telling them not to come. They were saying if you were on the way to the island, just go back. So day 1, you missed day 1 because it got canceled. The people who couldn't get their wristbands and get into day 2, and let's say you were waiting in the will call line, finally got your wristband, and then right when you get to the entrance, they just cut it. I would be pretty pissed. Now, when they said capacity, I was looking around because I was pretty shocked, and it didn't look too crazy. My buddy Mark and I were on our way to see one of our favorite artists, Kaiwachi. This was at the same time as Tiesto was playing, and kind of all the crowd was towards the main stage, and we were off at a side stage, so there was a lot of room, and looking around, it looked like there was enough room on the island. After Kaiwachi's set, my buddy Mark and I were going to stay at that stage because we were going to see 2 other of our favorite artists. Those being Dirt Monkey and Boogie T. Dirt Monkey and Boogie T came on at around 8 p.m. and we were going to leave a few minutes before their set ended, which was at 9. But we intended to leave like at around 8:40 because we were going to go to the brand new stage that EZOO had put up called the Mega Mirage. Now, at the Mega Mirage was going to be a back-to-back DJ set with Dom Dalla and John Summit. The Mega Mirage area was built in an area that EZOO never really uses. And when we went there earlier, it was a pretty big space. Every time I went to Mega Mirage, it was never packed out. Like, you would see it full sometimes, but it was never packed. That's how big the area was. So in our minds, thinking 8:40 to leave Dirt Monkey and Boogie T to get only about a 5-minute walk to the next stage is more than enough time, and there was going to be a lot of space, so we didn't mind if we were in the back or whatever. Now, a few minutes before we were going to head out, that was when Mark started showing me the videos he was seeing on Instagram. He was showing me videos with swarms of hundreds, maybe even thousands of people storming the gates. When they enforced the capacity, I don't know how it started. I don't know what happened, but I guess the people weren't taking it and they started running in. They started pushing the gates down and just heading straight in. They were gonna make it to day 3. I guess at around that time was when Tiesto finished. So it was still a few minutes before 8:40. And we turned around and noticed thousands of people behind us. Everyone was walking to the Mega Mirage. That was when I realized now it's definitely over capacity. Now, I don't know how long those people were storming those gates for. Could have been an hour, 30 minutes, I don't know. In that time, of course, social media was blowing up. The videos were spreading. People were saying rumors that the whole island was going to get shut down. While we were at the stage still watching Dirt Monkey and Boogie T, I did see fire trucks off in the distance pull up to the island. I was sure the fire marshal came and he was going to shut the whole thing down. I even looked up in the sky and there was a helicopter surrounding the entire island. Mark and I realized maybe we should try to go a little early to Mega Mirage and see if we could get in. Now, like I said before, there was always room at Mega Mirage, but this time we couldn't even get into the sea of people trying to get into the Mega Mirage. Although the Mega Mirage was a huge area, the entrance was kind of a tight little gateway, so people coming out and people going in was just a mess. That was when Mark and I said, screw it, we're going back to Boogie T and Dirt Monkey. We were going to an after party to see Dom Dalla, John Summit, and also Green Velvet play back to back, so we didn't really care. Now, at this time it was 9 p.m. and Mark and I decided we were going to leave definitely earlier than 10:30 this time, because we obviously wanted to avoid the shit show of leaving that island. In the last couple of hours we had left on the island, Mark and I had met up with some people that Mark had known. One of the girls oddly resembling Violet Myers. Ooh. After chilling for a bit, and then it eventually became 10 p.m., we just decided we were going to get out of there because we knew what was going to come. Surprisingly, it was pretty easy to get off the island. We walked the RFK bridge and hopped on the train in Manhattan and then made our way to Brooklyn. We went to our after party and it was great. We had fun, and that was the end of our EZOO adventure. The next morning when I woke up was when I saw all the videos of people trying to leave the island at 11 p.m. People were stuck, shoulder to shoulder, not moving. That was when we knew the 10 p.m. plan was definitely the clutch plan. Once again, the local news was covering everything, showing all the videos of the people taking forever to get off the island and all the people storming the gates. Now, I guess the knowledge I have of going to festivals for over the past 8 years, we didn't really have a bad time. We made it to day 2 pretty early. We got in, we left early, avoided the crowds, and did the same thing on day 3. But some people, they really got screwed over. Imagine, they had to pay for airfare, hotels to come down here, and some people didn't get in at all. Some people only got in for a couple hours. Some people only got in for 1 day. Tomorrow will be officially 2 weeks since the day 1 of EZOO. And EZOO still hasn't posted anything. They haven't made any comments. They haven't made any apology. Nothing. While EZOO was updating everyone when the situations were going on, in the IG posts, they were also saying, don't worry, everyone's gonna get refunded for what they missed out. Now, yesterday, that was when I had received an email saying they didn't know when the refunds were coming. Like I said, it's been 2 weeks and people were still tearing into them. Now they're definitely gonna go hard. I don't know how everyone's gonna react seeing that. A lot of people have been bringing up how EZOO was bought out by the Avant-Gardner company. This is the company that owns the Avant-Gardner / Brooklyn Mirage Club in Brooklyn. Now, they had purchased the festival last year, and I think they were the ones who put it on, and last year it just seemed like a regular EZOO. There was no big problems that I saw or broke the news or anything like that. Maybe, I don't know, there definitely could have been stuff. EZOO's kind of known for having like some issues, but nothing like this. But that was pretty much it. Thankfully, nothing crazy happened to Mark and I. We made it out. Like I said, maybe that's because of the knowledge we have for going to festivals. But I really feel bad for the people who didn't even make it in at all, and now they still haven't got their money back 2 weeks later. But yeah, what about you guys? Did you guys make it in? Did anyone not make it in at all? Maybe you only went in 1 day for a few hours, made the 2 days like Mark and I, and kind of just enjoyed it. Nothing really bad happened. Did you guys hear any crazy stories from your friends? Let me know. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.